Archaeologists have begun a major new excavation of the Roman city of Pompeii. It was destroyed nearly 2,000 years ago after Mount Vesuvius erupted.
Recent discoveries have shown that the victims of Pompeii suffered a fate far worse than originally believed. While it was long thought that most perished from the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, new findings reveal a different story. Researchers now believe that the people of Pompeii faced not only the deadly volcanic ash, but also devastating earthquakes that added to their suffering. Could there be more hidden truths about Pompeii's tragic end? Let us explore these chilling new details that will blow your mind like nothing else. The new Pompeii Discovery, shaking up history. All right, let's break down this new finding about Pompeii that has everyone talking. A group of archaeologists and geologists from INGV-OV have been digging around and studying old ruins and bones. What they found in one building was a game changer. They stumbled upon two skeletons with the kind of damage you'd expect from an earthquake, not just a volcano. This is big because it might mean we've had the story of Pompeii's destruction and all wrong. The typical story goes like this. On a fateful day in 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius blew its top at 1 p.m., throwing rocks and ash over Pompeii for about 18 hours. People ran for cover, hiding from the falling debris. When the volcano took a brief pause, some folks thought the danger was over and that they might just make it through. But then earthquakes hit the weakened city, bringing down buildings and crushing those who hadn't fled. The two bodies the researchers found seemed to have died from these building collapses, not from the intense heat or choking on ash, which is what most have thought eliminated most Pompeians. Now let's get into the details of these two victims because their stories are quite telling. The first one, a man about 50, was eliminated instantly when part of a wall fell on him during an earthquake. His injuries were severe, showing he took a direct hit. The other guy, also around 50, was found trying to protect himself. He was crouched in a corner with a wooden object, probably hoping it would shield him. Sadly, it didn't work, and he was crushed just like the first man. This whole discovery shifts our understanding of what happened on that tragic day. It wasn't just the volcano, the earthquakes played a big part too. It's a reminder of how brutal nature can be. And now, with this new info, we have to rethink the entire destruction of Pompeii. But that's not all they found. The digs have also been revealing more about how people in Pompeii lived and handled their dead. For example, while setting up a system to control moisture in a new library at the Pompeii Archaeological Park, the team found something unexpected. They uncovered a semicircular tomb, known as a scola tomb, beautifully crafted with a stone bench that had lion paw designs. This kind of tomb isn't rare in Pompeii, but its location and the details it brings to light about old burial practices are quite fascinating. So what does all this mean for us today? First, it shows just how complex and intertwined natural events can be. Volcanoes, earthquakes, they can all chain react. Second, every new discovery like this gives us a clearer picture of how ancient people lived, and coped with the disasters they faced. These insights are more than just academic. They help us connect with the past in a more meaningful way. It makes you think, doesn't it? How would we react in such a situation? It's a sobering thought. The ongoing research in Pompeii isn't just about understanding a disaster. It's about understanding humanity itself. It's about seeing the resilience in the tragedy of a community caught in one of history's most famous natural disasters. Every bone, every artifact, every structure tells a part of a story that is more complex and more human than we ever imagined. As we continue to uncover more from the ashes and debris, each layer peeled back reveals more about the lives of the people who walked the streets of Pompeii. Their joys, their fears, and their ultimate fate are pieced together through the diligent work of archaeologists and scientists committed to uncovering the truth. This connection to our past, to a moment frozen in time, is a powerful reminder of our own vulnerabilities and the ever-present threat of nature's fury. Pompeii's story is a testament to the sudden changes that can occur in our own lives. It challenges us to think about our preparedness and our response to unexpected disasters. Would we be ready? Could we handle the unknown with as much bravery as the Pompeians? These are the questions that linger as we delve deeper into the soil of this ancient city. This exploration of Pompeii is more than just digging through ruins. It's about reconstructing lives, understanding death, and appreciating the intricate dance between human civilization and natural forces. Each finding at Pompeii adds a new chapter to the story, enriching our understanding and connecting us more deeply to those who lived centuries ago. As we look back at these findings, we're reminded of the importance of history and archaeology. They are not just about exploring the past, they are about learning lessons that are timeless, about courage, disaster response, and the human spirit's capacity to endure. This ongoing dialogue with the past keeps our history alive, making it resonate with the present and inform our future. As archaeologists dig deeper, they find not just history, but stories of people who once led an empire, the forgotten leader of Pompeii's past. When archaeologists decided to dig a bit more around a certain ancient tomb, they hit the jackpot. They discovered an inscription that's got everyone who loves history pretty excited. The inscription was on a bench in the tomb, and it told the story of a man named Numerius Augustinus, who was the son of Numerius. What's got people really buzzing aren't just his names, but the fancy titles and honors that came with them. These marks of respect tell us he was a big deal in his time and give us a glimpse into the social fabric of the early Roman Empire. Numerius Augustinus was recognized as a just knight and a military tribune. On top of that, he managed to land the role of duumvir in Pompeii not just once, but twice. This role was one of the top jobs in the city, marking him as someone very influential. However, the title that really catches the eye is Praefectus Oriani, which means he was the prefect of the Oruani. The Oruani, or sometimes called Oriani, were folks from the northern parts of the Iberian Peninsula. This area was a hotspot during Emperor Augustus's Cantabrian Wars between 29 and 19 BC. These wars were all about the Romans finishing up their conquest of Hispania. Men like Numerius Augustinus were often sent far from home to fight in these wars, lured by the promise of wealth and a bump in social status in their hometowns. The fact that Numerius was honored with Pompeii's highest office twice and given a public burial spot shows just how much he was valued for his efforts on the empire's edges. As we continue to dig into Pompeii, we keep finding more intriguing bits about everyday life in this ancient city. Recently, excavations have turned up evidence of a bustling mat-making industry alongside the remains of a restaurant. This comes from the Pompeii 114 project, which is a team-up between Tain University and the Parco Archeologico di Pompeii, digging through a site known as Insula 1 of 14 since 2022. In particular areas of this site, zones D and E, the archaeologists hit the jackpot with well-preserved remains of reed mats. Alongside these mats, they found what seems to be the production tools and facilities, including a big shallow vat and a system for draining water. This setup suggests that a big chunk of this building was devoted to crafting mats right up until Mount Vesuvius erupted in 79 AD. Nearby, they also dug up the leftovers of a restaurant, painting a rich picture of what dining was like in Pompeii. They found remnants of olives, figs, and chicken bones, along with small round cakes sprinkled with poppy seeds, giving us a hint at the kinds of desserts ancient Pompeians enjoyed. These findings open a window into the diverse economic and artisanal activities that were alive in Pompeii just before its sudden and tragic end. It's clear now that Pompeii was more than just a city caught in a moment of disaster. It was a lively, breathing urban center with a complex economic life. The inhabitants of this building complex weren't merely victims of volcanic wrath, but active contributors to a vibrant market economy. As we continue to study these discoveries, we expect to learn even more about Pompeii's economic dynamics. The link between this mat-making site and the known workshop next door suggests a specialized economy with possible cooperation between businesses, giving us further insight into the interconnected nature of Pompeian society. These discoveries not only deepen our understanding of the economic landscape of ancient Pompeii, but also enrich our broader knowledge of Roman economic practices and daily life. Every new artifact and remnant adds a piece to the problem of how people lived, worked, and interacted in this iconic city. With each layer of ash and debris cleared, we piece together a more detailed and colorful story of Pompeii, connecting past craftsmanship and commerce with the people behind them. These ongoing digs remind us that history is not just about great events and figures, but also about the ordinary day-to-day lives that fill in the background of the bigger picture. The more we uncover, the more connected we feel to those who walk the streets of Pompeii, offering us a clearer image of their world and their place within the vast expanse of human history. When nature warns us with a natural disaster or a volcano eruption, being ready is the key to staying safe. Preparing for a volcanic disaster. When a volcano starts to show signs of erupting, knowing what to do and being ready, they are key to keeping safe. Here's a comprehensive guide to help you handle these critical situations effectively. Firstly, it's important to know about the volcanic threats in your area. Familiarize yourself with local risk zones, which will be instrumental in shaping your preparedness strategies. Register for emergency alerts specific to your area and keep an eye on updates regarding volcanic activity. Set up a reliable way to communicate with your family, choosing someone outside your immediate area as a point of contact in case you get separated. Plan your evacuation thoroughly by identifying several exit paths. Your main route might become inaccessible. Regular drills with your family will help everyone remember the escape routes. Should authorities issue an evacuation directive, act swiftly. Any delay could put you in more danger. Make sure your car has enough fuel. Arrange a rendezvous point outside the risk area where your family can gather if split up. In addition to planning your exit, prepare an emergency kit stocked with at least 3 days' worth of food, water, and necessities like a first aid kit, necessary medications, flashlights, protective dust masks, and some cash. Store these items where you can quickly grab them if you need to evacuate in a hurry. Securing your home is also crucial. Block any entry points for ash, such as windows, doors, and ventilation systems, using plastic sheeting and tape. Shut off your utilities if needed to prevent damage from potential fires or explosions. Keep your important documents in a safe, easily accessible location. It's wise to have a fire extinguisher on hand since volcanic activity might spark fires. During the eruption, adhere strictly to the guidance provided by local officials. This may involve evacuating or staying indoors. If told to evacuate, use the planned routes and do so immediately. If evacuation isn't an option, stay inside, keeping windows and doors closed to block out ash and harmful gases. Protective clothing and breathing masks are essential to guard against ash and debris. If you find yourself outside in a volcanic area, seek safety away from danger zones as quickly as possible. Pay attention to the risks posed by ash clouds, lava flows, and lahars, which are swift-moving mudslides that can be fatal. High grounds offer safer refuge if escaping is unfeasible. Stay clear of valleys and low-lying areas where gases and ash are likely to accumulate. Volcanic eruptions can lead to extensive ashfall, affecting areas far from the volcano itself. Ash can pollute water sources, harm crops, and disrupt travel. If you must drive during an ashfall, proceed cautiously and keep your car's vents shut to prevent ash intake. Communication remains vital. Keep a battery-operated radio handy for updates, especially if you lose power. Help others when possible, focusing on individuals who may require additional assistance, such as seniors or those with disabilities. Post-eruption, remain vigilant as secondary dangers like landslides, mud flows, and additional eruptions could occur. Steer clear of waterways that might carry volcanic debris swiftly, posing new threats. If your residence has been dusted with ash, tackle the cleanup with caution. Wear protective gear and avoid using water, which can solidify ash into a hard, difficult-to-remove mass. Instead, gently sweep ash off surfaces, particularly roofs, to prevent structural damage from excessive weight. By carefully planning, securing necessary supplies, safeguarding your home, and staying informed through reliable sources, you can significantly enhance your safety and resilience in the face of a volcanic emergency. As the dust settles, let's see how an empire grew and ruled a large world. The rise of Rome's first emperor. The initial phase of the Roman Empire was marked by a dynamic expansion and a solidification of authority, stemming from a tumultuous period filled with internal disputes. Under the leadership of Augustus, who was the first to claim the title of emperor, a new governmental structure was put in place following his victory over his competitors. This era, commonly referred to as the Pax Romana, signaled the start of a long-standing period of stability and prosperity. Augustus introduced a series of reforms that strengthened his hold on the military, economy, and overall administrative functions. His reign brought about increased administrative organization, including the creation of a permanent army and a centralized system of bureaucracy, which played critical roles in maintaining tranquility and order across the empire's expansive reach. Following Augustus, the empire saw its boundaries stretch further, encapsulating territories as far-reaching as Britain and Egypt. The management of these vast lands was facilitated through a provincial system, with governors appointed directly by Rome to oversee various regions. These governors were responsible for the administration of local jurisdictions, tax collection, and ensuring allegiance to the Roman state. The well-oiled administrative machine allowed for economic blossoming, bolstered by extensive trade networks that spanned the Mediterranean and reached into Asia. While agriculture was the backbone of the Roman economy, trade and industrial activities were also significant contributors. The empire boasted an impressive network of roads and sea routes that were essential for the transport of goods, military forces, and information. During this time, the Roman Empire also distinguished itself through considerable cultural and architectural endeavors. Influential legal frameworks, monumental architectural feats, and advanced engineering projects left enduring impacts. Iconic constructions like the Colosseum and various aqueducts demonstrated Roman architectural ingenuity. The legal structures established during this time, emphasizing codified laws and civil liberties, laid the groundwork for numerous contemporary legal systems. Moreover, the widespread adoption of the Latin language throughout the empire played a crucial role in shaping the linguistic landscape of future generations, giving rise to the Romance languages. Nonetheless, the empire was not without its trials. The process of emperor succession was often riddled with manipulation and violent disputes, as powerful factions sought control. The Julio-Claudian dynasty, which saw rulers such as Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, and Nero, experienced a mix of effective and tyrannical leadership. The era was marred by internal conflicts, plots, and crimes. Particularly, Nero's rule became infamous for its extravagance and cruelty, ultimately leading to his overthrow. Subsequent to the Julio-Claudians, the Flavian and Antonine dynasties ushered in a more settled phase. Vespasian, the progenitor of the Flavian dynasty, concentrated on re-establishing normalcy post-Nero's tumultuous period. His lineage, including Titus and Domitian, prioritized bolstering the empire's infrastructure and fortifications. The Antonine dynasty, initiated by Nerva and continued by emperors like Trajan, Hadrian, and Marcus Aurelius, is often celebrated as a golden era, during which the empire not only expanded its territories, but also enhanced the societal conditions of its populace. However, managing such an extensive empire came with formidable challenges. Defending its borders against continuous threats required a hefty and expensive military upkeep. The empire's stretched resources led to economic strains and escalated taxes. Additionally, the dependence on slave labor sparked social unrest among the free citizens, who found it hard to compete economically. The 3rd century was particularly tumultuous, characterized by political upheaval, economic downturns, and external pressures. The empire fragmented into 3 competing segments during what is known as the crisis of the 3rd century, nearly causing the disintegration of the Roman state. It was only through the strategic efforts of emperors like Diocletian, who divided the empire into more manageable eastern and western sectors, and Constantine, who embraced Christianity, that stability was somewhat restored. The early Roman Empire was a period characterized by impressive territorial expansion, significant cultural contributions, and intricate political narratives. The empire's proficiency in managing its diverse and sprawling territories showcased its exceptional administrative capabilities. However, the continuous challenges of overseeing such a vast domain often led to instability and decline. Could the real cause of Pompeii's devastation be even more terrifying than we thought? Are these earthquakes proof of a natural disaster, or could there be something more sinister at play? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.